Welcome back to the channel, Exile. In this video we will be discussing a really raw, rough concept of my league starter for 0.2.0 of Path of Exile Dawn of the Hunt. This is not going to be a complete guide because I'm going to have to do a lot of testing before I know what is best and whether all of these things work the way I hope they work. But I have a good feeling about this one, and this is going to be all the information that I'm going to talk about. I will leave in the video description as well, so you guys can take a look at what's what. Now, looking at the screen right now, you see Tadiantal's video, I hope I'm saying that correctly, on the Artillery Ballista gemling build that he's going to be playing. He's done some research. I will link his video in the video description as well. And in his research, it is now shown that Shockwave Totem has gotten a severe nerf, and Artillery Ballista more than likely is going to be the strongest totem, with a couple of downsides, that being the delay between shooting and actually landing on the enemies. Whether that's a manageable thing, yes or no, we will see. But for me personally, I'm going to be doing an Artillery Ballista Smith of KITAVA build. And the reason I'm doing that is because I feel damage is not going to be too much of an issue with this build from what I'm seeing, the overlapping and everything that happens with it, but safety might very well be. Now, for the gemling legionaire, we don't have any block on that. We don't have the high life scaling that we had in previous leagues. So I believe that the safety that we can get from getting the Smith of KITAVA is going to be the way forward for the smoothest possible league start. And what we're going to do specifically is we're going to be getting 90 all res on this character. We're going to be getting a lot of regen. Yes, guys, we're going back to regen. We will be using blood magic on this build because the mana cost on the Artillery Ballista is going to be far less than our level 40 Shockwave Totem build had. And the idea here is very short. We're going for Cold Stoker, Forged in the Flame, and then, as I understand it, we have 4 nodes to take from here. If that's the case, it is going to be +5 max fire res, it's going to be fire resistance, it is going to be 5% regenerated per second to get that regen sustained, because we don't leech, we don't have any on-hit mechanics, and this will keep us safe like it always has done with the other builds as well that we've done. And then we have some choices to make. Now, depending on whether we have enough fire resistance, we could remove the fire resistance for life, or for the hits against us have 50% reduced critical damage bonus. But I would say the fourth choice with everything that we've shown is going to be the Molten Symbol, because we won't be having access to the Cloak of Flame, so we want to take some of that physical damage as fire damage for the physical mitigation as well. Now, on top of that, we can anoint on the tree right here. This node, 5% of physical damage taken as a random element, meaning we have 30% of the physical damage taken with this as not fierce as fire in this case. With 90 fire res, that isn't a huge physical mitigation, but it's going to be okay. Now, our goal here is, with everything that we have on the tree, you can see here the tree that we set up, I'll link this in the video description as well. Our goal here is to get as much area of effect as we can, as much regen as we can, attack speed as we can, because the totems scale really well, you know, with the attack speed here, as much totem damage, as much totem placement speed, and area of effect that we can get for the overlaps. Now, we will not be costing any mana with this. We will have enough regen to do that. I think we might actually get up to 25% of our life regenerated per second. Whether I'll be pushing it exactly that far, I don't know. That might be a bit of a stretch. But for the normal body armor, we're going to be looking for a body armor with an implicit with life regeneration rate, right? The 2.5% of life regenerated per second max that we have there, and probably a corruption on there with +1 max all res if that is needed to hit the 90 all elemental resistances. Now, this is the 0.2.03, and we're looking at +1 max fire here, +1 maximum all elemental resistances, and we will be using your natural resilience as well, with the +5 to all elemental resistances and +1 to maximum fire resistance for each 40% uncapped fire res. Now, let's take a little bit of a look at the gear that we're going to be using. Like I said, it's going to be a very rough overview. I will put everything in the video description. So what we're looking at is gear is a crossbow with +7 projectile skills. We are looking for elemental damage with attacks on there, which is a global modifier. Now, we know the totems, like Nathaniel explained and like we explained last league as well, use their own weapon, but we can use global modifiers, and the 100% of the elemental damage with attack is a global modifier will carry over to your totem damage. Now, we could go for a third modifier on there, which could be a stat like strength or dex, depending on what you need, but these two modifiers are probably the most important ones. Now, for the rest of the gear, suffixes like we said before, we have the enjoyment of playing the Smith of KITAVA, which means we have far less need for resistances outside of fire res, right? So we just need fire res to be up, and all of our other resistances get dragged up with it. Meaning, we want the highest possible fire resistance we can get, we want some chaos res until it's capped, we want some strength on there for life, and optional, because we have the room for it, rarity. For prefixes, highest life you can get flat. We don't need any mana because we're going to be running blood magic with high regen, so that's a good thing that makes your gear a lot cheaper. And you can get some armor on there on your prefixes. It will not do a lot, armor isn't great in PoE 2, but a little bit of defense definitely helps. For implicits, I would say the helmet, you want a % of life regenerated corrupt on there, like we had on the last regen builds as well. And for armor, there is actually a base that has life regeneration implicit itself, and on top of that you can get a max res corrupt on there, so max elemental resistances to get to an easier 90 all res. For duels, like we had with the shockwave totem, increase AoE, life regeneration rate, because that is our mitigation. It's gonna make us nigh unkillable if this is set up correctly, and maximum fire res if that's available. I would say for the full explanation on how the skill works, some visuals, and explaining on why this is now the better totem, definitely head over to TANKY's YouTube channel. I will link his video in the description because he did all the legwork. I'm not going to steal all his data, but just know the version we're going to be making is going to be a Smith of KITAVA, and I'm very curious to see what he is going to do with his gemling legionaire. I hope he makes some update videos, and so we can do a bit of a comparison, because I think offensively speaking his build is definitely going to be stronger. Defensively speaking, probably the Smith is going to take that, and the question is just how much defense do we need? Keep in mind, we will be seeing the Arch Nemesis modifiers again this league, and as far as I remember from last leagues in PoE 1, Arch Nemesis means death. So I am definitely going safety first, damage second, but I could be wrong, I could be overdoing it here. If that's the case, I will tweak it down and up the power a little bit more. Keep an eye on the channel, guys, for the updates. Much love and much thanks to TANKY for his legwork and his research. Guys, I hope you all enjoy 0.2.0 Dawn of the Hunt Path of Exile. And I'm going to see you guys live in just a little bit. Have a good one, guys, and thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.